In a land of valleys and hills, waterfalls and willow trees, branches weep for the women of Africa. Tears turn to torrents that flow into our oceans, and red rolling waves of sand form the Kalahari dunes that thunder with stillness. And the clicks of the Nama echo across valleys split by the flow of the relentless Khari. The beauty and balance of nature surrounds our cities, awakens the spirit of our people, and stirs passion in the poets of South Africa.
Ayowela mama, ayowela, ayowela mama, ayowela.
Mangabe uhamba nje endaweni yasemkhambathini nale ndawo lena yaseNtshangwe la basekuthiwa ke manje i-Valley of Thousand Hills ila ubona khona ubuhle uNkulunkulu asiphe bona. Ingakho ke kwasekufika ke kumina ukuthi mhlawumbe kumele ukuthi ngiqhakambise lobubuhle esinabo ukuze sibunakekele ukuze sizinakekele kwathina ukuthi sidaliwe uNkulunkulu uyathanda ukuba sikuhloniphe ubuhle bethu. Lapha ke enkondleni ngiqala ngokuthi ngiqhathanise ubuhle bomuntu wesifazane ebukwa abantu besilisa. Uma ngabe umuntu wesilisa eshela intombi uyishela ngoba ebona ubuhle kuyona. Esusa phezulu ekhanda azoyibeka ayibheke ngisho enzansi la inyathela khona. Yilapho ke ngibuka le ntombi ke ukuthi uma ngabe le ntombi ibukeka kumuntu wesilisa kanjalo nendalo inobuhle obunjalo. Ngiyakuthanda Nobuhle. Ngithanda izihlathi zakho Nobuhle. Zona ezithothombeliso kwepetshisi elithothombele. Ngithanda uthotho lwakho Nobuhle. Lona luqhakazise okwezinkanyezi kwesikabhadakazi. Ngithanda amagula akho Nobuhle. Wona adlala esifubeni kufumbeke umfokazi. Umfokazi akhale sikanina. Unina kanabani wokutheza apheke amembese. Ngithanda idanda lakho Nobuhle. Lona eliklewulisa insizwa. Insizwa yasho yathi, yisho mntanethu, wakhelela bana amanzi. Ngithanda ushaya ngabantwana. Abantwana bakhexa isixhegu. Ixhegu lazikhalela. Sigcwele isibaya sami mntanethu. Ngiyiqhathanisa ke manje nobuhle balentombi, ngiyiqhathanisa nobuhle okokuqala ngibuke izintaba. Lapha kwaZulu Natal sinenhlanhla ukuthi sibe nendawo eyizintaba. Ubuhle bendalo buqhamuka lapho ke sibuka izintaba. Ngehle ngize lapho ubona khona ubuhle buvela nasemanzini impophoma mangabe iwulukuhlela. Ubona ubuhle futhi lapho bendalo. Wehle futhi uzofika phansi esigodini. Phansi lapha la khona lahlamba amanzi njengoba lapha ngemuva kwami nje kukhona amanzi amathantala amanzi konke lokhu ubuhle bendalo. Ubuhle ke manje sesiyabudlulisela ezingeni lesibili ukuthi sibuka izwe lakithi izwekazi lakithi laseAfrika limele yilolo buhle. Yilobo buhle okumele ukuthi sibulondoloze esabuphiwa umdali la eAfrika. Kuhle ukuthi esikwenzayo sikucabangisise ngale Afrika ngalo nobuhle oyiAfrika. Uma ngithanda wena Nobuhle, nani izindaba zobombe nokhahlamba ngiyanithanda. Uma ngithanda wena Nobuhle, nani izindaba zeKilimanjaro ngiyanithanda. Nginithanda nelekwe ngengubo emhlophe. Lapho amehlo ebuka athuntubale. Lapho amehlo ebuka athuntubale, athuntubaliswe ufasimbe lobuhle. Ubuhle bengubo emhlophe. Ufasimbe lobuhle luletha ukuqhaqhazela. Kungemakhaza aqhaqhazelisayo. Yikho ukwazi ukuthi selokunathi phuhle ngamzukwana ijuba likaNoah liletha impendulo yethemba lokusinda embujisweni. Uma ngithanda wena Nobuhle, nani mathafa, nani zigodi ngiyanithanda. Nginithanda nendlalekile. Kuhle kwesisila sengubo yomlobokazi. Ngokugqizisa izintaba ngohlazane oluhlebezayo. Nginithanda ngamachibi andlalekile. nginithande nangeziziba ezizonzo zizonzobele. Uma ngithanda wena Nobuhle, nani izimpophoma niwulukuhlelayo, ngiyanithanda. Nginithanda niwulukuhlela, niphunde nishaye ungqimphotho ajikisisi, isisi semboze isiziba ngofasimbe. Ufasimbe lungefuse ngozele. Ngiyozeliswe inkazimulo yofasimbe. Inkazimulo ingeyakho. Ufasimbe luyangithuthumelisa. Ngesabe inkazimulo yakho. Ungiphi ingqondo yokucabanga ngobukhulu bezintaba nangokujula kolwandle. Ngoba ngithande uNobuhle. Ngoba ngithanda nani zintaba. Ngoba ngithande nani mathantana. Pho ngehlulwa yini ukuthanda wena baba?
Ntho e ntshutsumeditseng ho ngola thothokiso ena Moduwane ke ha ke shebile ditaba tsa Afrika le tsa basadi ba batho ba batsho gore tsa mosadi wa Maafrika. Ho na le ntho tse tshwanang ho bona. Afrika ka nako ya bokoloniale e ne e hatelletswe, mme ho na le mathata a mangata. Ka ho jwalo basadi ba batho ba batsho ba ne ba fumana mathata hobane ba ne ba sebeletsa basadi ba bang ba hlwekisa matlo a bona. Empa la ho le jwalo ba tlameha ba kgutlele ha bona ba bone hore ho a jowa, empa ho ne ho le thata. Ke yona ntho e ntseng hore ke bone sefate sa Moduwane se tshwana le mosadi wa Afrika ya hlophehang, ya llang, ya tshwereng ke bodutu. Mme ke bona ho leketla ha makala sefate sa Moduwane e le dikgapha tsa mosadi wa motho e motsho. Mme dinoka tse mohlomong e le sello sa Afrika. Ntho engwe e etsang hore ke ngole ka Moduwane ke hobane ha ne re sa le bashanyana re ne re bapalla dinokeng, re sesa teng, ne re tsoma, ne re tjha ditlhapi. Ka nako engwe ha re kgathetse re robale sefateng sa Moduwane, tlasa sefate sa Moduwane, mme ne re utlwa monate wa maphodi wa moriti wa ona. Ka nako engwe re ne re palama sefate sena. Ke ka hona ho nna sefate sa Moduwane e le ntho ya bohlokwa. Hape ha ke sheba sefate sa Moduwane, ke se sheba gore mohlomong ha o le thabeng o sheba noka e na le difate tse ntle tsa Moduwane. O fumana e ka noka ena ke noha e ntle e tala. Mme seo ke setshwantsho se setle hampe kelellong ya motho. Kore ha o le hodimo thabeng o shebile noka o le tlase, o fumana setshwantsho se seng se itseng kelellong ya hao, mme se thoba maikutlo, se utlwisa motho monate, se etsa o nahane ntho tse ding tse ngata. Ke lona he lebaka le entseng ke ngole ka Moduwane. Ka mantswe a mang ke ntho ya botjheng e qadileng ke sa le mohlankana re sa bapala dinokeng. Taba ya metaphor ho nna ke ntho ya bohlokwa hobane e etsa hore ha o bala thothokiso o kgone ho fumana hantle kelellong ya hao ditaba tse sethothokiso se buang ka sona. Ha o bua ka sefate sa Moduwane le metsi le sello, a bua ka hore makala a tshwana le sello, o kgona ho utlwisisa hantle taba e etsahalang. Mme ena e tsamaya le setshwantsho gore ntho re bitsang symbolism, hore ntho itseng e emela e itseng. Jwale ka ke re thothokisong ena ke bona sefate sa Moduwane se emetse Afrika le mosadi wa Afrika e le batho ba llang. Ke symbolism e ke e sebedisang, mme ho nna ke ntho tse etsang hore thothokiso e be monate. Hobane matsatsing ana re se re ngola dithothokiso, ha re sa etsa hakalo hore tlamedi e kalaneng, empa le ya kalaneng le yona e tlameha e be le morethetho hore e be monate, e utlwahale. Moduwane, pelong ya ka o leketlisitse makala, dikgapha tsa mengwaha masika. o llela nna mosadi wa Afrika hoba o ba fepile o ba pepile ba o jile matsoho ba o nwele madi. Sello sa hao ke se utlwa marung, dikgapa tsa hao ke leswitihadi le ruleng katametsang lebitleng, hoba dikeledi tsa hao ke pula ya hwetla yona e phallang dinokeng melelema, pula ya matsatsi ana bofubedu. Dikeledi tsa hao ke maphodi di a nyorolla, ka ho ke tla robala moriting wa hao, ke phomole kgotsong ya rona botaleng, dikgapa tsa hao hodima ka dirothe, ke tle ke fumane mofuthu tlase mobung lehodimong la ka mehla.
Yeah, the poem Kalahari Journey was, just as it says, it's a journey of my life in the Kalahari, and basically just nature. The Kalahari is completely a place where I suppose the word that we all understand and can go by, it's nature. It also goes to nature being natural, being free, being by yourself, that absolute stillness that you encounter when you're sitting on a dune all by yourself, and the only sound could be the sound of a bird now and again, if any sound. And that stillness, when you suddenly realize you're actually hearing the sound of silence, and it freaks you. When you kind of, wow, silence actually speaks to you, and that's magic. So it became a whole spiritual journey. Kalahari, me, nature, the elements of the Kalahari, the bushmen, the people, the animals, because it's not a matter of the journey in terms of this poem also just being, in nature and just a little bit of peace and quiet. It's a stillness that eventually creeps inside of you. So your whole spirit inside becomes completely silent. Then again, even if you're in the noise, that same spirit goes with you, and that's what the Kalahari offers. It's just incredible, you know. You can walk these dunes. Sometimes they're green and lush with all the grass if we had good rains, and then there's times again when there's nothing. It's so semi-arid desert, there's absolutely nothing, and every dune you just want to go further and see what's behind the next dune. And then you want to go further and what's behind the next dune. Talking about the stillness in this great desert and the love that I started feeling for this place on my own, just finding out who I am at the time. I was going through a divorce when I first came to the Kalahari. Something a couple of years later down the line, you know, I was sort of in the throes of what was going on in the area at the time. The Bushmen were claiming land back, and there was a whole lot of things, me working for the park and things like that. So thank God again for this nature element, this the fact that you can just go a couple of dunes and get away from it all. So I often used to do that and wonder, what have I come to do? What am I here for? Why am I here? It's like a story that's just getting hold of me, and I just have to sort of play the character in the story, which was incredible. I remember I had to make a decision and choose between leaving my career at National Parks Board because of the love and the loyalty for my friends outside the parks, which was the Bushmen. This land claim was going on. And when I made the decision, people thought I was going to go back to Cape Town. You know, what am I? I'm going to have a job now, what am I going to do? But at that stage, I already knew there's no ways I can leave the desert. There is just absolutely no ways I could do it. So I actually asked the Bushmen if I could live with them, just to be in the Kalahari for as long as it takes. I eventually fell in love, met somebody in the Bushman family whom I fell in love and got married to, part of another lot of inspiration that I had just to stay here and be here and just do the best I can for the Kalahari people, and likewise they do the best they can for me in this situation where I had to learn how to adapt to this area. And I still don't know it all. But I know one thing, that I won't leave here. That is as crystal clear as my name is Belinda, you know. I'm definitely not leaving the Kalahari. It creeps into your bones like you just cannot believe it. This place, the fire, the people, everything, everything. Every heartbeat of the sand I feel. That's why I like to be grounded. I like to sit flat all the time. And yeah, you don't even have to walk far. You just have to be in the Kalahari, and that alone makes you happy. Just that whole fact. So if I do travel back home sometimes to Cape Town to do the odd thing, it's a painful situation. I get in there and all I want to do is get out. I want to get back to the Red Dunes. Kalahari journey. Peace, stillness, so lonely but so full. Everything in it. The daybreak, a quiet hawk floating north to south, circling the land. I am my own island. I lie and watch while he meditates for us.
As is, I suppose, with most things that are, artistically motivated. I wrote The Promise in a particularly difficult period in my life. I was going through a lot. Emotionally, mentally, I was extremely disillusioned with the state of affairs, with life in general, with life around me, with myself, seeking answers and not finding them. And I think that frustration really kind of forced me to, pull myself towards myself, so to speak. And in that, I was just like, I'm going to actually have to find a way to overcome, to, have direction, to get out of here. And I think the Promise was that. It was a testament for me. It was me affirming to myself that, yes, okay, the situation is really quite bleak right now, but what am I living for? What am I aspiring for? How do I move out of here? I open the poem by saying that I'm looking into this darkness, which just describes the fact that I was just not seeing a way forward. I use the sky and the water because of the vast expanse, because they're big and they're open. I talk about the water in terms of the tears because there's a lot of crying involved. So those tears are not wasted because those tears then, go on to become rivers, and those rivers then become an entire ocean. So, from a little thing, you can expand and grow and you can be more. And that was the message there, that you can always be more. There's always possibility to be more. And I talk about heaven and I talk about angel choruses, and that's also just the beauty element. It's creating, I was hoping to create images of beauty, of serenity, of hope. And I think that they worked because there's so much beauty outside and beyond ourselves, and it's just there all the time, and we just need to learn to tap into it. I look into this darkness and blindly I see possibility. These tears flowing into streams, tomorrow's rivers, and eventually we become the sea. Vast, open, unafraid. Who so dares to step in the way of such warrior spirits who refuse to be tamed? I'm so inspired, a raging fire. I become your light, illuminating deeply into this night. In harmony, clear like the sky. I too have seen the promised land. I too have seen the promised land, sweet sounds of an angel chorus. I too have seen the promised land waiting there for us. Heaven smiles upon us, children born of a lonely star, chasing the sun, ourselves in their time. We end to begin, ending the beginning, or beginning and end. We will transcend. A promise in these hands, a promised land, a promise in these hands, a promised land. I tell you that I too have seen the promised land. I'll take you there, and you will find that you arrive simply because you never left. I tell you that this African child has seen the promised land.
Nekovap, namakowap terakaipe, ke ehakowapa. kain ko baba. Chi nama ko apita ka mi orai ke ti mamas ko bab ke. Sam stais khara ke mahi ti mas khaba. Sida ke nga amaka kaise tai bai e khabai nama ko bab kha. Oni nama ko bab ke e khaba sto ja hindet ma. Didi I khas aroma. Ne ko bab ke nau ko bab ko China khu uba. Arang nang aire khosa ko bab ke ne Sida I nam ti nau ka ua. Nang tau ka ra ke ne ma chi. Khosa ko ka saka kwa o mona nam nau ka ua. Ora ni ngona ka kai ba chi. Tiramis. Chi. Chi. Khabeb ki nama ko ba hagan nam ka nau ka ua. Tirami ba. Khas aroma ra ke tita nama ko ba kha kaise e khabai. Le khoin ia ke nen khubai ngai. South Africa tirani kai khubai. Ai chine ko ba kaise a. Kai. Si unchama. Ngai khon ke rami oge ko bapti. Chineske wa kha kaisa. Ne ko bap nama ko bap ke ni ui. Nidi ko se tui kuri kai ke ui hain ko bapa time aroma listening o kai. Chi Sida chi sata iara nama ko baba no khwan wada ke ni hu tui ngati di. Ip ni ko bap anta ui. Mama di ke ni indi warona nama ko baba wa u on odi do ko bap ke. Hani ko bap ke. Lisisa sa ko bap omskasi otskumuka sa ko bap ngarang khoba khabo. Sa mas di ko bap ngasirang khabo. Sida kasi way of thin ching khai turi ha ora ke nama ko bap ngarang ai. Chi le huna thani bira khwa koi. Ngase tauti ne gedegte tara khwasa. Hoep khadege Sida kaise akai bai. Hoep ke Sida. Huba huda kira ui. Sida ke nga amakan hubaran ui. Kawan ia dah uhan ke nga huba khuni ui. Nisi hanang ia dah uhan ke huba hura kai. Sin nga amakada ke huba kaise kwa. Orets ketite. Nim hub eitska ha otske sata an hub elo sa chukwa phatske made otske ni nim huba winka huba chang ore chitka abi si nim hub an sa down be e otskom kana uati Sinkum sahun sakari hun ke kauti baba hutsi kanio baba hutsi ni sisan kanang uno bubachan ule nga amagala ke Sida namata si khoi tira kaida ubani ui ap echishin oriti de ngang aba hutsi ni kame ho nganup kan api khas amas ke uba Sida kaise a kwa saba ai tukar mama ama kada ke hari koron sina uiran kuba tang orire kuba isisa ngatsko ahu ukai ikarabang asnaka tidak kirami kuba tarang uinkau khas aroma Sida Itse chukwatse abotse Sida ngaun Itse Sida Itse Nanu ba abire in khuna uire ida Sida khadi uire kaise ta ke ko khabu kastin asha ida khurona amre satskom khave Sida Itse abotse Sida ngaun Itse chukwatse ida Sida kan si kuachire satske a Sida elo Sida khuche chukwatse